just talked to him 2 days ago. Very, very nice kid. Must have snapped.
Difficult to find the reason why, impossible to come to grips with what happened. Good evening, I'm Karina Sullivan.
I'm Cale Remaker. On our website and at our water cooler, the hot story tonight is the shooting rampage in Wisconsin. Detectives say Sheriff's Deputy Tyler Peterson shot up a pizza party in Crandon, Wisconsin, a small town north of Green Bay. Peterson killed 6 people. Investigators say he armed himself with a rifle and fired 30 shots. He killed all but 1 person at the party. Peterson later died after a shootout with the cops, but tonight it's not clear whether a police bullet got him or if he took his own life. Peterson was just 20 years old, and even though so many who knew him say there were no warning signs, Peterson earned his job without going through any psychological screening. Now, it turns out Florida and Wisconsin are worlds apart on that issue.
Like most states, cadets here have to pass psychological screening before they get a badge and a gun. But is it enough? First on Fox, Cheryl Gatwiza with a closer look tonight.
Well, Karina, most of us realize that officers face a lot of stress and pressure on a daily basis. So you might think regular, extensive evaluations would be a part of the job. Well, what actually happens isn't what you would expect.
All right. And what's your responsibility as a law enforcement officer?
This group of men and women is just weeks away from graduating from the police academy, and already they're learning the stresses of the job sometimes prove to be too much.
You get desensitized to it. You go to call after call. You get used to it. It's something you see every day.
Squad leader Ashley Leeper believes psychological evaluations with officers must happen on a yearly basis. Fellow recruit Marlon Collins agrees.
We're all human beings, and if we can look for signs, just like we would see in a civilian person out there, that you can clearly tell when someone's hurting, when someone's in trouble, why not see those signs in your fellow law enforcement officer?
In fact, according to former police chief Richard Weinblatt, officers go through thorough background checks.
From employer checks to ex-spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend checks. They check with neighbors. They check with former employers. They do a pretty extensive check. They run fingerprints, so they get to know you pretty well.
And psychological evaluations are done when the officer initially gets hired. But after that, there are no real evaluations. However, there are exceptions.
If there is an issue that supervisory staff have a concern with, they can do what's called a fitness for duty evaluation, where they recheck the person. It's actually a little more stringent. Just make sure the person should be carrying a gun and a badge.
Weinblatt says, contrary to what you may think, law enforcement is actually tightly controlled and supervisors are checking on officers, but they also depend on fellow cops to look for the warning signs.
They need to be able to divert that person to where they need to go. You may see more flashes of temper. You may see more use of force incidents.
In the state of Florida, you only need to be 19 years old to be a sworn uniformed officer. However, most of the individual local agencies require you to be at least 21. Only in rare cases is someone hired younger than that. We're told agencies understand the pressures of the job could be too much for someone so young. Karina?